My boyfriend is still with me. I would like to hear from people who have been contacted by their partner. My beautiful boyfriend died 6 weeks ago in a motorbike accident. We were not together for very long, but it was the closest relationship I've ever had. We had many plans. There have been so many lovely ways he has let me know he is around and that he loves me. It would take me too long to write them all out. But he is with me every day. Any question I ask him, even if it's just, where did I put my keys? He tells me the answer in my head. Often there will be a song coming on from the radio, like this one. How can I fall into the dark when your arms are there to catch me? How can I ever lose my way with your open hand to cling to? I can often feel him brushing my neck and face. He used to lay in bed and stroke my hair while holding me, and I often feel him stroke my hair during the day, but especially in bed. Often I can smell him close when I'm half asleep. And last night, I had gotten off the sleeping tablets the doctor had gave me after the funeral. I'd stopped taking them, so I woke up in the middle of the night and felt him rocking me back to sleep. He's not the sort of guy who want me to be without a partner until I join him, but he is around, and I wonder how there could ever be anyone else. We are closer in any way than we were in life. I went to see a spiritual reader who immediately said, "He's here. He's stroking your hair." She said in the spiritual realm, love is unconditional and eternal. She said that he says, I was his angel, and now he will be my angel. And he says to trust him, and he will take care of it. Anyways, that's in regard if I find a new boyfriend or not. Anyways, I just would love to hear if anyone can comment or give advice. He will always be with me, I think. Amazing. I never knew. Loved ones' bodies might die, but the love stays the same. Thanks. Robert. I am coming across this site after a Google search. I was with my boyfriend for 25 years. Please don't get me wrong. We were very on again, off again. Throughout everything in life, we always stayed in touch daily, if not almost every day. We had such a love and connection that nothing ever broke us. He is the only person that understood me. He, Robert, died October 1st, 2014 at the young age of 48. I did not find out for a month. We had words on September 27th to 28th, and part of the conversation and text messaging was me telling him to never contact me again. I thought it was just one of our stubborn spats. I tried to text and call him throughout the month of October with no response. I am not close with those in his family, and the only person I would consider to be close with is his mom, who is 87 years old and has many health issues. Robert was always very worried about his mom and couldn't stand to bury her. I looked online for a Google search with his mom's name and asked if she had passed away. But instead, his name came up instead. To my shock and complete disbelief, I opened the link to find his obituary. God, talk about being friggin' floored. I did write his mom a card with a letter that his sister intercepted, and we did talk. I'm going to skip many details here, but since he passed, several things have happened. I don't know what is real and what I am wishing to happen. There is a guy that looks almost exactly like him that started a quick conversation with me before I knew he passed. All I could think to myself was that he looks like Robert. I asked him to send me a sign he was okay when I was left alone in a corporate facility. The emergency call box started ringing. I was totally confused and had to convince the guard I was okay. I have felt him touch or rub my back, which he knew I loved him to do. But it is not a human touch, it is like energy and tingling. I experience it when I teach yoga and I am in a meditative state. Other times it tends to scare me. I feel like he's trying to help me in certain ways, but I think it's just my brain trying to make sense of this. I appreciate reading these other posts. There is a guy that I've been dating for a few years to try and move on from Robert once and for all. He moved in on, ironically, October 1st. And he doesn't look anything like Robert. But I wish he was more like him because he uses me. He isn't caring or giving. He is selfish, self-centered, and doesn't help me with anything. I am heartbroken over Robert, and he asked me to marry him for a second time in my life about 2 months ago. I said nothing. Robert was the first man to ever break my heart, and I couldn't do it anymore. I swear he would never hurt me again, but this is the biggest hurt I could ever experience with him. I always wished and hoped we would be together in life and support each other, etc. I just found out I was saved in his phone as wife. There is another girl I knew about that he moved in with and cheated, lied, and she has been all over the internet about the funeral services that I missed. I have written about us, but she keeps trying to hurt me. He didn't want to be with her. He moved out and there were restraining orders, etc. He told me he didn't want to be with her and that she was a psycho and a drunk. I am just lost and my best friend is gone. I have precious voicemails and have asked his sister for some ashes. I am alone, heartbroken, and forever missing my best friend and husband. If anyone understands without judgment or willing, without telling me to just move on, I'm here. The moment my wife died, what happened? I'm not sure where to begin, so I'll just say that today is December 14, 2009. My wife of 25 years died 3:30 a.m. November 22nd, 2009. She was pronounced dead 10 hours later, officially. She was my high school sweetheart, and we have 2 sons. Having no prior medical problems and never having smoked, it was quite a blow to learn that she had stage 4 lung cancer 8 months ago. This was her 7th hospital admission since the whole nightmare began, and it was her last. I stayed with her that day and night, the last 4 days of her life, and took care of her as the nurses began the morphine and Ativan 4s. She slipped into a coma on Saturday, I believe. And the last act she made that acknowledged my existence was when she pursed her lips so I could put lip balm on her chapped lips. All through Sunday, her condition worsened and she was on maximum oxygen and only breathing a few times per minute. Sunday night, I asked all the family members to leave so I could be alone with her, sensing that she would not want anyone to be with her other than myself when she passed. The nurses said they would come in quietly, only every few hours or so as to not disturb us. I set up a cot that was brought for me to sleep on, next to her hospital bed, and I put a blanket on the both of us. It was very similar to how we slept at home. I slept on my side, with my head on her shoulder, and held her hand with both of mine. I woke often to check her breathing, and had a very strange feeling come over me in the middle of the night. I looked at the clock. It was 3:30 a.m. and I felt something hard to describe, but I'll try. It was as if I were electrocuted or being vibrated, for lack of a better word. It was the most intense tingly or goosebump I've ever felt. It started in my spine, in my shoulder area, and spread to the rest of my body in waves, down to my feet, up to my head, and all throughout my hands. This went on for a couple of minutes, and at one point I could not feel myself laying there anymore. It was as if I were being supported underneath by thousands of fingers. After the paralyzing waves of energy subsided, the room felt different. It felt colder and empty. I questioned to myself, is this what the hand of God feels like? I was fearful, but not to the point of trying to stop it. I just tried to relax, which was very hard. She continued to breathe slower and slower as the hours passed after that, and at 1:15 p.m., she took her last breath. I felt her heartbeat slowly fade away, and her body was gone. I have told this story to a few people, and nobody can tell me what happened. Has anyone experienced anything similar? What in the world was going on? Thanks in advance